cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It is, let's see, episode 1947, 1947. My name is Mike Matthews. Welcome to the show called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10. It's been a weekend full of fun and actually working my little side thing that I do. Been busy with that. I don't know about you. Are you fat? From all the Thanksgiving food. I didn't have that much turkey. I don't think I had any.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I've successfully maneuvered, managed, navigated through
Mike's
Thanksgiving
Daily
without any turkey.
Podcast.
Would you like to send me your turkey?
Yeah.
You can call me 336MM Daily. That's 3 + 3 = 6. MM as in Mike Matthews Daily. As in what this podcast has been for 5 days now? See, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 days. Wow, it's like a whole week. We might even do one tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Folks, I don't know, what do you think this podcast is about? I will tell you what it is about. For years, it's been about whatever. But here's what I would like to tell you is I got a little sidetracked and watched a little bit of YouTube yesterday. And I watched this guy called Professor of Rock. And he's a guy, like, he looks like the most unprofessor of rock ever. He eats a lot of those chocolates. He's not fat, but let's just say he's not rock. You know, he doesn't look rock. He's got one of the little hats that hipsters wear. He looks Professor of Hipster is what he looks, like fat millennial hipster guy, which is fine because I'm not that, let's just say, svelte myself. And I just ate, I ate one of those tiny Butterfingers left over from Halloween. So I'm not exactly eating healthy. But I did have a delicious salad with butter lettuce. I love those butter lettuce things.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Butter lettuce is so good! Oh! And Costco never carries it. It's really the only reason why I shop at my local grocery store anymore is because they got the butter lettuce. Thank you, my lovely lady friend, for picking up some butter lettuce. I'm talking a lot about butter lettuce, I just realized. What I meant to talk about was the Professor of Rock. And he does this cool thing. He's got this big popular YouTube channel. And he interviews people that had huge 80s hits. For example, Kenny Loggins. And they talk about Danger Zone. And probably Kenny Loggins did this because the new Top Gun is coming out early next year, and he's going to have a song in it. Okay, so Kenny Loggins discusses the fact he did not write Danger Zone. Basil did. Basil. You didn't write it? Oh. You're not a songwriter? You don't like those hippies that write songs? Oh, you're okay with Kenny Loggins. Okay. Right. No, his best hit was I'm All Right from Caddyshack. But no, what he did do, Top Gun, he didn't write that song for Top Gun, Danger Zone. He got it. It was actually going to go to Starship. Yes, the guy, we built this city on rocket and nothing's going to stop us now. But they didn't want to do the song, Mickey Thomas, I think it is, because Starship, connected, of course, to Jefferson Starship, and then before that it was Jefferson Airplane, has always been a very anti-war band. They started off in the 60s, the Vietnam era, very anti-war. Grace Slick was on the Smothers Brothers Hour, Variety Hour. They did a skit that was anti-war, and they got in a bunch of trouble. That and for many other reasons, Smothers Brothers got into a bunch of trouble and got canceled. That's a great story if you want to look into that. There's all kinds of stories about that on YouTube. Not to be the most pro-YouTube podcast that ever existed, but the show is on YouTube, and you can find it. MikesDailyPodcast.com is my, YouTube.com/MikesDailyPodcast. So this guy, though, Professor of Rock, he interviews people like Kenny Loggins, and well, here's what I want to get to, and this is the most important thing. What's going on with Kenny Loggins' face? His head. I don't know what's happening. What's going on there? I know he's getting old, but I mean, at one time he was Mr. Mullet, but the top of his head was spiky. He had the hair that was spiky. It's not like he's gone bald. He's still got a bunch of hair. Or I don't know if that's his own hair. That little blank's got his own jet airplane. That little blank is a millionaire. We got to move some microwave ovens. Yes, there's a bad word in that Dire Straits song. In that one verse they never play on the radio. So speaking of 80s songs, so Kenny Loggins was then, I don't know what he's done to his face, if he's injected his face with Botox or what, but it's weird. It looked very swelled up. I hope he's not sick with something. But of all the people I saw the Professor of Rock interview, and like I said, the Professor of Rock is probably my age, maybe a little younger. I think he's probably right on he's like kind of a hipster, Gen Xer, millennial type dude, but he interviews the guy that's saying for the outfield, Your Love, I just want to use your love tonight. That guy, and that guy looks old. Or that guy he looks so British. He's very British. East London is what he says. And it was hard to forget, hard to believe, hard to remember anyway, that he was right there in the mix of it in the mid-'80s. It was him with his band Outfield, Bruce Springsteen, Madonna, Prince. They were all at the top of the charts at that time. And now he looks like an old British guy with wacky teeth. I don't know what it is with the British dental system. And the Mr. Austin Powers guy, Mike Myers, made fun of it in Austin Powers. But there's just something going on with the teeth. Anyway, I'm going to get my teeth cleaned this week. I just remembered. So so he talks to him and they discuss the song, I Just Want to Use Your Love Tonight, and how that song was written in 20 minutes. And Toto talk about Africa and how that song was, and I never liked the guys in Toto. I liked the songs Toto does, but I once met Steve Lukather, and let's just say I just did not like his, it put me off on rock stars, I think, permanently, because he is pretty arrogant from when I met him. I don't know. He may have changed. This was early 90s, but I just was not. You're an amazing rock guy, Steve, and you play on all these songs, Michael Jackson songs, all these songs that were big hits, and then the Toto stuff, because he was a studio musician for hire, as was most of the guys. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valleyton today, the last place on earth. So Toto had this side band where they would do their stuff, and then they would perform like for Boz Scaggs. They would be his backing band, Don Henley, all these guys out of the 80s. But I saw Toto then again in 2007 in Agoura Hills at the Canyon Club. And I remember Steve Lukather getting on the microphone and talking smack about Paris Hilton and other cultural phenomena. And I just got the feeling, this guy, he's like a Valley dude. He's total San Fernando Valley guy. He wrote Michael Jackson's Human Nature because I think it was his son got made fun of by a girl on the playground. His little boy was being made fun of by one of his classmates. I don't know. I don't know. At any rate, Toto talks about how Africa was basically the inspiration was based on a synthesizer that cost something like $40,000 at the time. A synthesizer that had that kind of that do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do sound in the song. And that inspired David Paich, the keyboardist, to write the song about Africa. And he pulled a lot of imagery out of a National Geographic that he was reading. And the main impetus for the song was the drummer, and that was it Jeff Porcaro was the drummer? He passed away very young. And he played for a bunch of different people. So Jeff had done this loop, and David Paich, I think it's Paich, yeah. He plays the keyboard on there, and that was sort of inspired that So what's great about the Professor of Rock video, all this to say, is he gets really into the cultural influences of what the songs have done. I also saw the one Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon, who wrote Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore, and how that song's been everywhere. Kevin, by the way, of all the guys, looks like he's aged the best out of, I don't think he's done much in the plastic surgery thing, but, or he doesn't overly dye his hair. Like some of these rock guys dye their hair black. Come on, you're gray. Deal with it. You're gray now. Don't dye it jet black, you stupid dude. That's okay for women to do, but you're a dude. Deal with it. You turned gray. Embrace your grayness. I say that to all genders, by the way, or whatever you identify as. Embrace your grayness. So my mom and I, speaking of aging, we're discussing our legs. Yes, legs in general. And about how Basil the Boxer's legs don't work, the back legs, and how I have to carry him around, and how my mom's legs don't work that well anymore. And most people we know as they get older, their legs don't work and as well. And she said to me today, you know, God really didn't figure out legs very well. He kind of left it to, maybe that was part of God's plan, if you want to go that direction. It was God's plan to remind us that we're not on top of the world. We're only on top of our legs. And when they're gone, well, we have to think of other things, other ways to get around, which my mom has found other ways to get around. She's doing very well with that. But it's still, it's like a thing you just have to remember. The older you get, watch out for your legs. And there was years ago a song that got played on the radio. It was more of a guy talking, and it's accredited to Baz Luhrmann, the director who directed the movie Moulin Rouge and Strictly Ballroom. And the story of how he directed Strictly Ballroom is fascinating. That's what he wrote the story and turned it into a movie. And he was so young when it came out, and he rewrote it. And I guess it was a traveling theater piece for a while, and then it became a movie. Watch that documentary if you can find it on YouTube. If you're into movie making, this guy at a young age in the early 90s was able to make an amazing career for himself in the movie industry. He also did Romeo plus Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio, Claire Danes movie. Paul Rudd's in there too, by the way, if you forgot. There is also, what did he do? The one with, he did The Great Gatsby with Jay-Z recently, I think. At any rate, so this song, though, that it's accredited to Baz Luhrmann, is a guy speaking to a graduating class, and the guy says at one point, be good to your knees, you'll miss them when they're gone. And I think that's very true. I guess forget about the face, Kenny. Forget about the teeth, guy from Outfield. Forget about your hair, Steve Lukather. I say, just remember your freaking feet and your legs and be good to them. Because when they're gone, oh gosh. Hey, so Beto O'Rourke's gone, huh? He's not doing the political thing anymore, the presidential thing anymore? Did that guy even have a chance? I mean, he lost the election he was in to begin with. I don't quite get the political angle of things and people, their trajectories. And Michael Bloomberg is back. He's running. Remember, he was going to run last election, but at the last minute, Hillary's people and Bernie Sanders' people talked him out of it. Somebody talked him out of it, and that didn't happen. But my mom, who's a staunch Republican, is like, I like Bloomberg. So we'll see where that goes. But Facebook, I know. How did I transition there from Bloomberg to Facebook? I guess people get their news from both of those sources, and they shouldn't, or they should. But Facebook said, there was a time a few years back where I would get all of these birthday wishes. It was my birthday recently. I get all these happy birthday mics, which for the most part, most of them were just people that, they type out happy birthday and they didn't know who I was. But now I'm down to a core group of people that I trust that wish me a happy birthday, and I think they're sincere. I call them the Sincere 19, because that's how many there are. 19 people that wished me happy birthday, and they're sincere. And I love you, Sincere 19. Thank you. That was so nice of you. Those birthday wishes. But at one time, it was like 50 or 100 or something, and they're all people that didn't know who I was. So forget that. That's what I'm saying. And finally, as we're out here at Cafe Anyway outside on this cold, rainy night, although we've stopped the rain with this nice awning over us, it's not a yawning awning, hopefully, because this podcast should be exciting to you in some way. Is it? You can call me 336MM Daily. But what I was saying was that Northern Exposure was a phenomenal show in the early 90s. It lasted 6 seasons. Technically, one season was a half season because it was a season replacement. And then but in total, seasons wise, it was 6. And there was a great episode that I watched last night with my lovely lady friend. In it, the DJ, played by John Corbett, the DJ's name is Chris in the Mornings. He works at K-Bear, I think it's KBHR, in Sicily, Alaska. They're out in the middle of nowhere. He plays for this small town. He's the DJ, and he plays a song, Pencil Neck Geek. Pencil Neck Geek, lousy physique. He's a one-arm losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. That song got played constantly on the Dr. Demento show. But Chris in the Morning plays it, and somebody hears it. You don't actually see this happening, but somebody hears it and says, Chris in the Morning, thank you for playing that song. I'm going to kill myself now. Yes, that song somehow inspires someone to kill themselves. And so what Chris does, he is so taken aback by that, and that he had an influence on someone in a negative way, that from then on, he plays nothing but music. He censors himself. He goes through every single album he has and basically throws away the ones that are in any way questionable, might have some kind of lyric in there. For example, Born in the USA, the Bruce Springsteen album. He's about to save it and keep it, but then he realizes, hey, there's a line in I'm on Fire where Bruce Springsteen says it's like a knife edging into y'all. There's a 6-foot valley through the middle of my soul or something like that. He goes, that's questionable. That means somebody's committing suicide or something, so we can't play that album. And in the end, the town rises up and says, no, Chris cannot succumb to this one person, and he has to be able to play what he wants to play. It's basically an episode about cancel culture, my lovely lady friend pointed out, and about how we need to be afraid of the masses, of the tyranny of the masses that will pull away and stop and squelch creativity. Now, in today's world, there are so many channels and so many things you can listen to, and if you don't like me, you can find someone else, etc., and move on down the line. And for me, I don't put any money into this. I put time into it, and I guess I do pay for the website, but at the same time, it is just like breathing for me, this podcasting. So I don't care either way. You can hate me or love me, but I'm going to keep doing this no matter what. Until the internet dies, disappears, gets sucked into a black hole and vanishes, then I won't be able to do it. Then I'll just have to, I guess, put it on a cassette and mail it to you. And that's going to be a little too much work for me. So at that point, I'll probably stop. Okay. But because the internet will probably be on in the grid or whatever you call it forever, I will continue to podcast. So the point is, go watch that episode with Northern Exposure and John Corbett playing Chris in the Morning, and him trying to censor himself because he played Pencil Neck Geek, and somebody killed themselves because they heard Pencil Neck Geek. Not exactly sure how that song would make someone want to kill themselves. It's a funny song, unless you actually identify with being a Pencil Neck Geek, which I don't even understand what that is exactly. I've never seen someone with a pencil neck. You can't really breathe with a pencil neck. At any rate, look who else is out here.
Hello, Michael Master, it's Madame Rootabega, and I am in the podcast picture. Oh,
Yes, you are. Do you have a pencil neck?
no, Michael Master, I don't.
Okay. Do you like Pencil Neck Geek?
Yes,
Do you like other Dr. Demento songs?
yes.
Did you cause Dr. Demento to get taken off the radio?
No, he's off the radio?
I think he just retired. I don't think cancel culture got him, but I may be wrong. If you know more about that, you can call me 336MM Daily and leave a message at the Cafe Anyway line. Or, wait, call me there. Or email me, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we wish we was in the podcast picture day.
Yeah, the podcast picture. You know that?
You guys, well, Valentino you were like last week or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right, day.
Yeah. How are your legs, guys?
They're pretty good. Do you know that?
I got gout.
Oh, uh-oh. That's not good. Be good to your legs, be good to your feet, people. That's all I have to say today's show. And don't worry about not getting any birthdays. Happy birthdays to you on Facebook. It means nothing. It means nothing. Really doesn't mean a thing. Even if you have a bunch of them, still means nothing because those people don't care about you. They're insincere. Remember, social media is a fickle, fair-weather friend. The FFF. And fickle, fair... Yeah, basically. So just be FFWF. So be careful of that. And social media, as far as I know, people are jumping ship from Facebook anyway and going to Instagram, where you can't really wish people happy birthdays on Instagram. You can, but you got to go really out of your way versus the thing popping up on your Facebook front page and then you just click on it and type in happy birthday. That's ridiculous. I don't like it. I like a little effort put into someone wishing me a happy birthday. With that said, I hope someone puts in a little effort for you. If not, put in a little effort for yourself because you deserve it. And next show, we'll have the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Thanks for listening.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!